So what I was asking about, if it's all for the money, so these idols are always tied in with the money, and that
They're
they
not.
wouldn't do it. Because that said Mercury was the son of Jupiter, is
Right.
the emblem of commerce.
Right, but they're not idolistic. Okay, they're not idol worshippers. They worship in spirit. So when we get into the whole Lucifer thing, okay, that's light. That's not. It's the actual physics and principles of light. You know, you can take it and take it to idol worship, but then you're already losing. Because they're Hebrew. Once they get it past the 13th level, it goes into Hebrew Kabbalah.
So what's the definition of idol?
Any shape, anything that you worship that is not of spirit. Anything. It could be anything. You could worship sex too much, like you see all these people in the porno. You know, that's why they give you all the 7 deadly sins. If you want to be bad, it's there for you to do. They'll allow you to worship. Once you cross that boundary, you're no longer what they consider human.
So all these things that are emblems and symbols that they use or that they're connected with, they're not worshiping?
They're not worshiping them. And that can also be said for the head priest of the Catholic Church. Even though they teach you dogma, they're not dogmatic. Okay? The church, Catholicism means universalism. And what that is that they have all the gods housed in their house.
So it's pantheistic.
Right,
polytheistic.
But at a certain level, those people are no longer worshiping that. They will allow anybody that is in other words, anybody that has a certain IQ level or consciousness level is going to come out of the religious books. Now, they're going to end up going back to those religious books because they'll understand that everything's hidden in those books. Hinduism especially. So a lot, when I first got into this, when I looked on the internet, I said, what's the oldest religion? Hinduism came up. And everybody was like, oh my God, they got 365 gods, they got 365 gods. But the gods weren't the gods, it was one God with 365 days, and it was actually, the solar year.
Yeah.
And then you get into some where they have the...
So they were interpreting it like a little bit
but that's what they...
distorted in a distorted way. So it's not...
But
maybe aspects of...
The priesthood understands it.
The priesthood, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
So you're looking at it from the outside, it can be very
absolutely.
confusing.
Thank you. So when we look at these things, especially with the Hebrews, and that's what I really enjoy about Judaism, is like when, I sent my daughter to, she was going to Hebrew school for a little while. Their main thing is, although they talk about the Spirit of God, their main thing is seek, seek, seek. Question, question, question. Always question everything. We talked about this earlier. A person that's going to excel or is going to become non-idolistic, they're going to leave the dogma, is somebody that doesn't just have blind trust and blind faith. For me, faith was the last thing. Okay, I questioned God my entire life. See what I'm saying? And that's where I got to the point where, I went, and then in my belief, God played a part. Like, I didn't want to go to UCLA and get a job there. So last thing I wanted to do was put on a uniform and go to an institution. I'm a left-handed, wild, black sheep of my family. I want to be out in the air. I want to, be out there. I ended up there, and I ended up with one of the most beautiful libraries a man could imagine, sharing so much knowledge. And these people that, you're following, no, I would never follow another man, but I don't mind sharing a conversation or talking about how he thinks. And in the Bible, they'll tell you, you don't do that. And then you'll have here's a perfect example. I'm not going to name the channel, which I've named it already, and I'm not here to try to put him down. But he says you can't, there's nothing outside of the Bible. So he keeps telling you, nothing outside. But his channel name is .com to sell books. So he's
selling books.
Their hypocrisy.
Bible.
Yeah, the hypocrisy of it is, it slaps you in the face. When you get to a certain level, you see that everybody is, like, I'm a hypocrite, okay? Everybody's a hypocrite to a little somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you see these people that are got the raptor in their eye, you want to pull out a square, but you got the raptor.
Yeah.
It's literal, and it's all over the place.
Well, there's an amount, or there's a line that you cross that somebody goes beyond what's acceptable.
Right.
That you can't allow that hypocrisy in places of power or authority.
Right, absolutely, and as you know, they use that. They use that in every way that they can. So these poor people that are lost in dogma are easily, they die for them. I forgot what the sheikh's name was, but there was an Arab guy that in the middle of his castle he had this beautiful garden, and what he would do is he'd take these guys in when he'd get them, these warriors, and he'd have them smoke hash and eat pork. And he'd be like, when he'd get them high, he'd be, you're in heaven, don't worry, you're in heaven with me. I can take you to heaven. And he'd get them so messed up, he'd give them women, next day they're out of there, right? And he'll be like, people would come over to visit other kings, and he'd be, watch this, he'd flick his fingers and they'd jump right off and die because they thought they were going to go to heaven for him.
Yeah, he was just using that to gain more power over suckers.
And that's what I'm saying.
They use that to blackmail people.
Right.
That's very typical with increasing your power.
Yeah, but the priesthoods, they keep...
Bad karma, though.
Well, absolutely bad karma. But you have like the physics. I see a lot of physics in Hinduism. Okay, to me, especially like when you see where the swastika really comes from and how they've stolen symbols that don't even belong to them and try to dirty them up. A lot of that has to do with the cardinal points and the fulcrum of earth and these different things.
Yeah, that's an ancient symbol.
Well, probably one of the most misused symbols ever in the world. But, it's,
I guess so. But
most people see that and they freak out, and they don't,
the cross is pretty misused.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. Not everybody's, that whole thing with the sun on it is talking about the sun, the literal sun.
Mm-hmm.
So